What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, guys, I'm going to be talking about Manchester United's last game that we went and played, Norwich City, in the FA Cup Quarter Final, guys. So let's just get straight into today's video, guys. So I made one change from the last game against Derby County. Talk about the starting 11. So we started with Romero, Dalot, Bailey, Maguire, Shaw, McTominay, Fred, Mata, Fernandez, Lingard and Igalo. Getting into the overall reaction, Harry Maguire puts Man United into the last four, and the famous Man United are going to Wembley. The famous Man United are going off to Wembley. Come on. The performance was awful. Decision making was poor. We made it tough for ourselves, but we only just got away with it. I will take that any day of the week. Win done. Through to the semi-finals. Anyway, guys, let's just get straight into today's video, guys. What did I make of the performance? I mean, if you ask me, I think it was a very lacklustre performance by Manchester United. I think we just simply could not get going with that starting 11 with the FA Cup in a week. And we expected changes. It was 8 changes from the last game. Ollie changed the complete team. At the end of the day, I think you've got to go through the starting 11 that we played with. The likes of Romero, Dalot, Bailey, Maguire, Shaw. And then you've obviously got McTominay and Fred. So I think what it was is, I think from that starting 11, I think why we sort of didn't play so well was because of the starting 11 that we played with. We had the likes of Lingard, Mata, Dalot, Bailey, all playing for the first time. Romero, all playing for the first time since Project Restart, because we threw out our B team. I don't even know if that's our B team, because at the end of the day, we played Bruno Fernandes, and with Lingard pushed out to the left, he doesn't really play out on left wing, he plays on right wing, really. I think we were sort of confused where Mata and Lingard were playing, because Mata can play out on the right, so can Lingard, so I think it was a bit confusing where both Mata and Lingard were going to be playing, because Lingard was sort of cutting back inside and into the right, and Mata didn't play so well, and I think it was just not a very good team performance overall. I think we definitely got away with it massively, because at the end of the day we're playing Norwich, who's now been relegated, a team that's going back into the Championship, a team that's got the worst defence in the league. We just couldn't seem to break them down, and I think and people would have been thinking, you know, this is a boring game, and it was a boring game, and to sit there for 120 minutes, it's not great. It wasn't a great performance. We did make it tough for ourselves in times, but like again, I was just going over then, the likes of the decision making was poor. I mean, the passes that we were making, they were not great in times as well. Going back to sort of a little bit of the basics, it was just not great in all of a sudden. It was just very poor of Manchester United. Yes, it might be because of playing the likes of Lingard, Mata there as well. Should have we been playing Fernandez as well? What really killed it as well, we had to play our best team in the second half to go and chase down our goals. You know what, I think the first half was a very lacklustre performance. We struggled for creativity from start to finish. I mean, at the end of the day, we got the front foot, but we just couldn't create chances. I think what killed it was the team selection that Ollie picked with the likes of Mata, Lingard, Dalot as well, and these are players that are only just, you know, coming back into their first game since Project Restart, and they've not had a chance to sort of go out there and play a game in the Premier League. So I don't know, it could have been because of the team selection that he went with. It could have also been it wasn't the right balance in the team. It could have been different solutions why we only just walked away with that win, because we lacked on creativity. I think the team wasn't balanced. The team selection was probably all wrong as well. At the end of the day, Ollie wanted to started players that hadn't been started before, the likes of Romero, Dalot, and he promoted Bailey as well. There was a load of changes from the last Premier League game as well. We made 8 changes. I just think in the first half it was a very lacklustre, and we just struggled for creativity in the first half. Not a great first half. I mean, we tried to get on the front foot, we tried to make things happen, just lacked in creativity, unfortunately. Second half of the game, it was pretty much like the same, lacklustre, struggle with creativity again. At the end of the day, we had 37 shots, but we only had 8 on target. That just goes to show that we had 8 on target, and we only scored 2 goals, and they had 1 on target, and they scored the 1 goal. So, I mean, for Norwich, that was obviously good for them to sort of get the game back level, but at the end of the day, we got on the front foot, and we just had to be clinical, and we just had to take that one chance with Igalo getting the goal. Fantastic. And then you're just thinking, right, let's chase down the second, and let's just put the game to bed. within 90 minutes. I think we were screaming and shouting, "Don't go to extra time," and I mean, at the end of the day, Norwich was sort of coming back into the game, but if you looked at that game, Norwich actually deserved the win more than us, because the way how we played, our pattern of play wasn't there. I mean, the transition wasn't there. We lacked in creativity. It was a lacklustre performance. We're just not there. Nothing was clicking for us. It was just the basics that were letting us down. The passing, the decision making was really poor. The game management wasn't really there, so we were just not there. I mean, the work rate wasn't there. The work ethic wasn't there. So nothing was there on the day for us. Was it down to because we only had a couple of days to this game? But at the end of the day, it made so many changes. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we got away with it. It was one of these games that we made it tough for ourselves. I mean, we just got away with it at the end of the day. And, I mean, a win is a win. And I think at least you're through to the next round in the semi-finals. You're off to Wembley. And you're buzzing at the end of the day. So, yeah, it was just one of those games at the end of the day. We didn't look great. I think at the end of the day, we were there for the taking, and so was Norwich. And Norwich had their chance to beat us. They didn't. We've beaten Norwich now 3 times this season, and at the end of the day, you know, Rashford had a great chance in extra time to get a goal, and then what sort of changed the game as well was also that red card as well, late on into the second half, and you're thinking when he got sent off, you're thinking, right, they're down to 10 men now, they're parking the bus, get on the front foot now, and go and score the last goal. We just couldn't find the goal. And we eventually went into extra time in the first half. That wasn't great whatsoever, just no creativity. I think Rashford had that shot and Tim Krul saved it. So we were not even better in the first half of the extra time. Second half, you're thinking, you know, it's. I think second half in the extra time, it was crunch time, and we were biting our teeth, thinking, shit, we don't want this to go to penalties, because we know that Tim Krul's really good on penalties, and he saved about 2 of ours early on this season. So we couldn't really go to penalties unless we would have lost on penalties. And I mean, Maguire was thrown at it as well. I saw Maguire in the box a couple of times. Obviously, Maguire got denied, and Tim Krul saved another great save in the second half of the extra time. And then it was just that brilliance of Paul Pogba, and we just took that one chance. We were clinical with it, we took it, and Maguire scored it and took us through to the last 4 really. And I mean, it wasn't a great game to watch. Just not a lot of creativity was there. We made it tough for ourselves, and we only just got away with it, and it wasn't deserved, no, I will agree with that, but games like that, you'll have to take that any day of the week. It's a win, and you're through to the semi-finals at the end of the day. So yeah, why did we play so poor from start to finish? I think what killed it was the team selection, by playing the likes of Lingard, Mata, Dalot, Bailey, and like I just said then, I think the team wasn't balanced. It was sort of a bit of the team that we sort of had from last season kicking in as well, like some shit players as well, the likes of Lingard, Mata, players that are on the way out now, players that have been linked with going out of Manchester United. I think what it was is it was sort of our A team and B team at the same time, but the reason why we played so poor was because of the creativity. There was just no creativity there, and that's relying on Bruno Fernandes, but I think by playing Fred and McTominay, they weren't the answer to that game as well. So I think we just didn't really get the right balance. McTominay wasn't really driving. I mean, Fred did well doing his defensive duties, but we just lacked in creativity. It was a lacklustre performance. The team selection killed it. We weren't balanced at all. I mean, it was the wrong team selection anyway. Ollie wanted to give other players chances. He did. He gave Lingard a chance, Mata a chance, Dalot a chance, Bailey a chance, Romero a chance. He gave all those players a chance, Igalo a chance as well. Igalo proved that, you know, he's back on the score sheet once again. I mean, the reason why I played so poor was because the creativity wasn't there. We're just not there. Nothing clicked for us. The decision making was really poor. The performance overall was awful. It was terrible to watch. It wasn't really great. Like again, we made it tough for ourselves, and at the end of the day, I think you've got to be happy of going through to the next round in the semi-finals. Semi-finals is always going to be a great opportunity to get to the final. At the end of the day, I think in this position that we're in right now, we've got to say it's a write-off. Let's move on to the next game against Chelsea in the semi-finals. And we're just going to make sure it's a better performance against Chelsea, because we know that Chelsea's going to be up for it. They're playing well right now. We'll just have to play some of our best stuff against Chelsea. That's just the reason why we played so poor from start to finish, really. What did I make of Bruno's performance? How did I feel about it? Because it wasn't a great performance by him. He was trying to make things happen, but it is what it is. Bruno wasn't a great performance from him. It wasn't only just down to Bruno's performance. I think everyone was relying on Bruno for the creativity. The creativity just wasn't there from Bruno. And I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to look at the team sheet. We had the likes of Lingard, Mata. They provided nothing as well at the end of the day. And then we had to go and throw out our best team, the likes of Pogba, Rashford, Greenwood. All those best players had to come on. Matic. I mean, it wasn't only just Bruno's performance. It was also down to the other players' performances as well. They were not great. But Bruno's performance was not great, no. I think all the other players were relying on him, on the creativity, and because the creativity wasn't there. I mean, at the end of the day, this game could have been also down to fatigue as well, because we'd only just played the Premier League game as well. I mean, you can't really put that down to that. We made 8 changes, and at the end of the day, they expect managers to be changing the team, rotating the team. But Bruno's performance overall wasn't great. Tried to make things happen, but it is what it is. But I think you've got to be happy of going through to the next round, into the semi-finals. It's Wembley bound, and you can't be happy with it at the end of the day. We just got to look forward to the next game. But Bruno's performance wasn't great, and I mean the other players' performances weren't great as well. That's what sort of killed the game as well. Do I think we can go on and win the FA Cup now? We can. But we're in a great position. We're in the semi-finals against Chelsea. We know we can beat Chelsea. We've beaten Chelsea 3 times this season already. We just have to go and beat them again in the FA Cup. I mean, Chelsea, they'll be up for it. They're playing some fantastic stuff themselves. Obviously, just got a recent loss to Sheffield United. With the way how we're playing, aggressive, incisive, quick football, I mean, we're going to be up for it as well. I mean, we're in sight of from the final now. And I mean, the winner out of this game is going to be playing the winner out of Arsenal and City. We may have the Manchester derby, or we may have a London derby. Let's see. I mean, in the position that we're in right now, of course we can win the FA Cup. We're 1 step away from the final. I think at the end of the day, Ollie deserves some silverware. I think the FA Cup's the one. Not only just that though, the Europa League as well. I think we can go on and win the FA Cup now. We're in a great position. And I think with Chelsea, with a recent loss to Sheffield, let's see what that happens. They've got a chance to get the confidence back up in the week against Norwich. Of course we can go and win the FA Cup now. We're only 1 step away. Just go and beat Chelsea. We'll be through to the final, obviously. Who is my man of the match? It's got to be Harry Maguire. He put us into the last 4. It's got to be Harry Maguire's late goal. I think everyone would have been going mad over that goal. Has to be Harry Maguire. I thought he was also commanding. He did a job defensively. He blocked a couple of shots as well. Has to be Harry Maguire for sure. How do we beat Chelsea in the semi-final? Chelsea, they're going to be up for this game against us. It's never easy against Chelsea because you know what, they always come into every single game with heart, passion, pride. They fight as well. They play for the club. They play for the badge. Frank Lampard's got them playing to a system now. All the players have got positions. They play to the system. They play like us. They play through the back, but they play it quick as well. I think the way how you beat Chelsea, at the end of the day, we've beaten these 3 times this season. We've beaten them 4-0 in the opening game of the season. We then went on beating them in the Carabao Cup 2-1. We beat them at their place at Stamford Bridge 2-0. We've beaten them twice at Stamford Bridge, and we've beaten them once at our place. I think going to Wembley now, I think both teams are going to be confident. I think we just got to prepare well mentally and physically, game with the right mentality, the right mindset. I think it's all about have a quick and bright start to the game, get on the front foot, create some chances. They like to get their full-backs as playing as left wingers and right wingers. We've got to have to really press them back and get them on the back foot, create some chances, and we'll be relying on someone like Wan-Bissaka or Dalot to put in the low and high crosses into the box. And I think it's all about we've got to create the chances, and we've got to make sure that we're clinical in front of goal. We've got to get in front of goal, scoring your chances, and that's what it's all about. And that's what Chelsea struggle on now. They struggle to be clinical in front of goal. So when they get in front of goal, they may create all these good chances, but they can't put them away. But what we're good in now is we get in front of goal and we can score goals in front of goal. So we're very confident in front of goal, and Chelsea are, but it depends on how Chelsea start off. But I think for us, we need that quick and bright start to the game. It's always important for that quick and bright start to the game. We're going to play some quick, incisive football, get them on the front foot. Let's have that quick and bright start, push them back earlier on, and it's always important to get the goals earlier on, and then you can start thinking of pulling off the players for their next game. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not an easy game against Chelsea. They'll come to give us a game. They'll fight from minute 1 to minute 90, and whether if it goes to penalties or extra time, I mean, we'll be ready ourselves. I mean, Chelsea have 4 days to prepare for this game. We only have half of that. So at the end of the day, this is just down to the recovery work, and we just got to be mentally on it from start to finish. And this is how, and we'll find out how Chelsea react. They want to get the confidence back up now in the week against Norwich after that loss to Sheffield, and then they'll want to go and kick on then in the FA Cup. So I think for us to go and win this game against Chelsea, we just got to do what we've done the last 3 times, and make sure we defend well as a unit, keep it tight at the back, don't make any mistakes, and stay compact as a team. And the transition from defence to attack needs to be quick. We need high intensity, high tempo. The fluidity needs to be in the fluidity needs to be in there in the team. So if we do all those things, I think we've got nothing to worry about. Chelsea, they'll come to give us a game, and we're just going to be ready on the day, and get the right team selection, get the right balance, and I'm sure Ollie will go on to winning the game against Chelsea. We've beaten them 3 times, let's do it once more, and we're through to the final at the end of the day. Getting into the goals now. First goal, Bailey passed the ball to Fred. Fred passed it to Dalot. Dalot passed it back to Fred. Fred passed it to McTominay. McTominay passed it to Maguire. Maguire passed it to Shaw. Shaw runs, across the ball in. Close chips the ball to Igalo, and Igalo taps it in easy for 1-0. So we got given that goal by a Norwich player. Second goal, Rashford passed the ball to Williams. Williams passed it to Bruno. Bruno crossed the ball into Maguire. Maguire looks for a penalty, and the ball goes out to Rashford. Rashford passed it to Martial. Martial passed it to Pogba. Pogba holds the player off, passed it to Rashford. Rashford passed it to Pogba. Pogba puts a brilliant ball through to Igalo. Igalo sets the ball up. Norwich fail to clear the ball, and Maguire's in the box. Maguire shoots and scores for 2-1 and wins the game for United. Getting into the stats now, not all the stats are there. Possession for Norwich, it was 36%, and for Man United it was 64%. Goals for Norwich, it was 1, and for Man United it was 2. Total shots for Norwich, it was 9, and for Man United it was 37. Shots on target for Norwich, it was 1, and for Man United it was 8. Getting into the substitutions now, Mata went off for Greenwood. Talk about Mata's performance. A player who relies on rhythm, and it looked like the cause. 2-stone possession throughout and failed to offer any spark to United's attack. Lingard went off for Rashford. Talk about Lingard's performance. Started brightly and had United's first 2 shots, but drifted out of the game after that, not doing enough to pressure those ahead of him. Dalot went off for Williams. Talk about Dalot's performance. Hadn't played since March 5th and never looked like shaking his rust off. His passing was poor, and while he took up some good positions, his crossing was wayward. McTominay went off for Matic. Talk about McTominay's performance. Tried to offer some energy and bite to United's midfield, but his enthusiasm didn't spread in a poor first half, and he was below his best. Fred went off for Pogba. Talk about Fred's performance. United's best passer, the Brazilian, gradually took a grip of the game and got United on the front foot, also offering a combinative defence presence. Bailey went off for Martial. Talk about Bailey's performance. A few heart in the mouth moments as he tried to sort his feet out and should have cleared before Norwich equaliser. Next up, we've got Chelsea in the semi-final. I think in this game it's just all about prepare well, not only just mentally but physically as well. This is going to test how good the fitness levels are. We've only got 2 days to prepare for this one. I think we're just going to go in with the right mindset, the right mentality. Like I said, get the front foot, create chances, push the fullbacks back, get them on the back foot, create some good chances. We've got to be clinical in front of goal. We've got to score on our chances, and they're not confident in front of goal. Score on our chances, score a couple of goals past them, and we'll be confident of going through to the final at the end of the day. In the last 3 games, Chelsea won to Watford 3-0. They beat Crystal Palace 3-2. I think they got lucky to win that game, and they lost to Sheffield 3-0. So far in the FA Cup, Chelsea are scoring 1.8 goals per game. So far in the FA Cup, Chelsea are conceding 0.3 goals per game. So is United. Chelsea have beaten Nottingham Forest 2-0, Hull City 2-1, Liverpool 2-0, and Leicester 1-0. The players to look out for is Rudiger, Zuma, Jorginho, Kante, Barkley, Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, Mount, Pulisic, Abraham, Willian, Pedro, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi, and Batshuayi. Hope you guys are enjoying another video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you're new. See you guys in a video in the next couple of days, and peace.